Today I want to talk about one of the very first things that you should always be doing before you start your vocal mix. And this is called deductive EQ. And this is super simple, so this is going to be a pretty quick tutorial. As you can see, we have our noise gate already on and we have waves tune. Let's take a listen to this.
Ended up in Burbank where I first saw you out in the first place. Remind me all the reasons that I'm or you don't deserve me.
And you probably can't hear it now, but there's a lot of frequencies in there that kind of sounds like I'm singing into a can. This is because when you're recording in an open space, maybe like a bedroom or a living room, wherever it may be, what happens is a lot of the frequencies bounce off the walls, collide, and clash. And here's a quick example of how you could hear something like that. So if you were to use this little bell shape here and turn your cue up a bit to kind of a dramatic amount, hit this little icon here and then hit play and drag it up. Hear how that sounds like we're singing into a soup can? Now in order to build your ear to hear these frequencies, all you gotta do is slowly decrease this knob until you can kind of get an understanding of where it resides when you're not boosting that frequency. Because you'll start to hear them in music often, especially when listening to something that's not mixed very well. So for learning's sake, let's just go ahead and put a brand new EQ on. And the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make this little icon here blue. Just gonna click on it, and this is just soloing the EQ8 and soloing the frequency that you are currently manipulating. Now take all of these dials down here and make all of these that exact same bell shape. And then for number 8 here, you're going to make a low pass shelf. It's this little 4X with the little shelf on it. And you're gonna do the exact same for the number 1, but the opposite side shelf. So here we're just going to reduce the muddiness in the vocal, just cut out some low end so you can't hear any of that. So essentially just carve out what you can't hear. This frees up some space for the bass and the beat. And then we're gonna do the same exact thing with the high end. All right, so we started hearing a little bit, so we decided to stop removing the frequency. We don't want to cut out too much or the vocal's just going to be really flat. So now let's take the rest of these and we're going to make the cue all one singular number. I usually like to do around 5.23 or 5.45. It doesn't really matter. It's not too big of a difference. And make sure that you just set all of these. Now what you want to do is you want to click on this little icon here and just save this as a EQ cleanup. Now, every time you make a new song, you can simply just drag this same thing on, but make sure to always switch up the deductive EQ. You can keep the low end and the high end the same, but I would suggest doing each band specific to the song that you're currently working on. So now we're gonna go ahead and press play, and we're just gonna lift these bands and find annoying frequencies.
Ended up in Burbank where I first saw you out in the first place. Remind me all the reasons that I'm or you don't deserve me. Do you ever wonder if we worked it out? What would we be?
So that one was pretty bad, so I decided to bring it down 3.10 dBs. You don't have to bring it down too much, just keep it nice and simple.
Ended up in Burbank where I first saw you out.
That one's extreme as well, so let's bring that down 3.10.
Burbank where I first saw you out in the first place. Remind me all the reasons that I'm or you don't deserve me.
I brought that one down about 1.19, and I just don't want to be too extreme with this because I don't want to flatten the vocal out completely.
Remind me all the reasons that I'm or you don't deserve me.
Boom, it's that simple. And now that we have a clean vocal, let's take a listen with the beat.
Burbank where I first saw you out in the first place. Remind me all the reasons that I'm or you don't deserve me.
And obviously it's clean, but it's not insanely good. So what we want to do is just take one of our vocal presets here from Vocal Sauce Volume 3 and watch what it can do for you.
In Burbank where I first saw you out in the first place. Remind me all the reasons that I'm or you don't deserve me. Do you ever wonder if we worked it out? What would we be and was it worth it?
That's one of my favorite vocal presets from Vocal Sauce Volume 3. And if you guys are interested in having that after you do your EQ cleanup, it literally comes with 50 vocal presets, 5 mastering chains, and 10 ad-lib chains as well. And it's as cheap as Chipotle. So check it out. Use my code Joey at checkout for 30% off. If you guys have any other specific tutorials that you guys would like me to do, please let me know. If you have any questions about deductive EQ, let me know as well in the comments below. And now that you can clean your song up and make it professional, check out this series on how to blow your song up on Spotify.